Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Today, we will explore the story of Prophet Nuh, AS, and the punishment that befell his people. This story, mentioned in the Holy Quran, teaches us the importance of obeying Allah and the consequences of arrogance and disobedience. Prophet Nuh, AS, was sent by Allah to guide his people who had turned away from the path of truth. They were worshipping idols and committing sins, ignoring all messages of righteousness. For 950 years, Nuh, AS, called his people to believe in Allah, worship him alone, and abandon their evil ways. Yet, only a few responded to his message. Despite his patience and devotion, the majority mocked him. They refused to listen and continued in their rebellion, challenging him with arrogance. Prophet Nuh, AS, warned them repeatedly about the consequences of their actions. Allah, in his infinite wisdom, told Nuh, AS, that the disbelievers would face a great punishment if they continued in their defiance. Following Allah's command, Prophet Nuh, AS, began building an enormous ark. People ridiculed him, saying it was absurd to build a boat on dry land. But Nuh, AS, remained steadfast and obedient to Allah's instructions. When the ark was completed, Allah sent torrential rains and floodwaters that covered the earth. The disbelievers, who had mocked Prophet Nuh, AS, and refused to obey Allah, were drowned. Only those who believed, including Prophet Nuh, AS, and the followers who boarded the ark, were saved. The story of Prophet Nuh, AS, teaches us timeless lessons. Obedience to Allah and following his guidance are paramount. Patience in spreading righteousness is essential, even when faced with ridicule. Disobedience and arrogance can lead to destruction, while Allah's mercy is always with the believers. This narrative serves as a powerful reminder for all of us to live righteously, heed Allah's warnings, and remain steadfast in faith. May we learn from the story of Prophet Nuh, AS, and strive to be among the obedient and faithful. Prophet Nuh, AS, continued calling his people to Allah, but they refused to listen. They remained immersed in sin and idol worship. Allah commanded Nuh, AS, to build a massive ark, as a great punishment was coming. The people mocked Prophet Nuh, AS, and did not take his warning seriously. When the heavy rains came and the floodwaters covered the earth, the disbelievers drowned. Only those who believed in Allah and joined Prophet Nuh, AS, on the ark were saved. This story teaches us that obeying Allah and avoiding sin is essential. Those who remain arrogant and disobedient face destruction, while the believers who trust in Allah are protected. After the flood, the ark came to rest on a mountain, and Prophet Nuh, AS, and the believers stepped out safely. The earth was cleansed of disobedience, and a new beginning began for those who had followed Allah's guidance. Prophet Nuh, AS, thanked Allah for his mercy and guidance. This story reminds us that patience, faith, and obedience to Allah are always rewarded. It also teaches us that arrogance, disbelief, and ignoring Allah's warnings can lead to destruction. The lessons from Prophet Nuh, AS, are timeless. Always follow the path of righteousness, be patient in spreading good, and trust in Allah's wisdom. May we learn from the past and strive to live a life pleasing to Allah. After the floodwaters receded, Prophet Nuh, AS, and his followers began rebuilding their lives. They spread goodness, worshipped Allah sincerely, and worked to establish a community based on faith and righteousness. This part of the story reminds us that Allah's mercy is always with the believers. Even after great trials and disasters, those who remain patient and steadfast in faith are rewarded. It also shows that every warning from Allah is a chance to turn back to Him before it's too late. The story of Prophet Nuh, AS, teaches us that obedience, patience, and faith are essential in life. It encourages us to reflect on our own actions, avoid wrongdoing, and always seek Allah's guidance in everything we do. The story of Prophet Nuh, AS, and his people concludes with a timeless lesson for all humanity. Those who ignored Allah's warnings faced destruction, while the believers were saved and blessed. This reminds us that faith, obedience, and patience are always rewarded by Allah. Prophet Nuh, AS, showed unwavering trust in Allah, never giving up despite years of rejection and mockery. His story teaches us that even in the face of hardship, we must remain steadfast, spread goodness, and guide others with wisdom and compassion. compassion. Ultimately, the story of Nuh as is a warning and a hope. A warning for those who disobey, and hope for those who turn to Allah in faith. May we learn from his example, follow the path of righteousness, and always remember that Allah's mercy and justice encompass everything. Even after the great flood, the lessons from Prophet Nuh remain clear and relevant. The flood was not just a punishment, but also a reminder of Allah's power and mercy. It showed that no one can escape his will, and that obedience and faith are the only ways to earn his protection. Prophet Nuh continued to guide the believers, teaching them to live righteously and build communities based on justice, faith, and compassion. His story reminds us that even after trials, there is always an opportunity for a fresh start if we follow Allah's guidance. This story also serves as a warning. Ignoring divine guidance and continuing in sin can lead to severe consequences. But for those who remain patient, steadfast, and faithful, Allah's mercy is limitless. The story of Prophet Nuh encourages us to reflect on our own lives, prioritize obedience to Allah, and strive to be sources of goodness in the world. The story of Prophet Nuh is not just a tale from the past, it carries important lessons for us today. In a world full of distractions and temptations, it reminds us to stay firm in faith and never ignore Allah's guidance. We see how patience, perseverance, and trust in Allah helped Prophet Nuh succeed despite the rejection and mockery he faced. Similarly, in our own lives, we are tested in many ways, and these trials are opportunities to strengthen our faith and character. This story also warns us about the dangers of arrogance, disobedience, and ignoring moral responsibilities. Just as the people of Nuh faced consequences for their stubbornness, we too must be mindful of our actions and choices. Ultimately, the story inspires us to be patient, obedient, and compassionate, spreading goodness and guiding others whenever possible. It reminds us that Allah's mercy is always near for those who believe and strive to do right. The story of Prophet Nuh comes to a powerful conclusion, leaving us with lessons that are timeless and universal. It reminds us that Allah's guidance is always available, but it must be followed with sincerity, patience, and faith. Those who ignored the warnings faced destruction, while the believers were saved and blessed. This shows us that our choices have consequences, and that turning to Allah in obedience and humility is the path to salvation. Prophet Nuh exemplifies perseverance, unwavering faith, and dedication to spreading righteousness, even in the face of ridicule and hardship. His story encourages us to remain steadfast, act with compassion, and guide others with wisdom. Ultimately, the story is both a warning and a lesson of hope. A warning for those who disobey and a source of hope for those who follow Allah's guidance. May we learn from the example of Prophet Nuh strive to live righteously, and always seek Allah's mercy and protection in our lives.